about the submissions. We're going to do it all right here. We're going to be talking to you guys. Make sure you're in the Discord or the YouTube chat. Get us some questions. We'll be talking to you guys later in the show. As always, we got Corey here in the house, in the back. Of course, we got the champ, Connor, Joshin back there, and calling in from the International Illuminati headquarters on an international business trip right now, calling in, making time out of his busy schedule to call in for the show. We got Hollywood Mike on the line. What up, Hollywood Mike? How you doing, brother? How's it going out there?
What up? Calling in from the Masonic Temple in Niterói, Brazil.
Sick.
Down here chilling. Left yesterday. I slept. I took 3 flights. I slept every single second I was on those planes. So down here chilling. I just woke up. I slept some more when I got here. Gonna be here a couple of weeks. But great weekend of Who's Number One stuff. Can't wait to get talking about it. What do you guys want to talk about first?
Let's just jump right into this thing, man. 2 days. If you didn't watch, what the heck were you doing? The entire world of jiu-jitsu had their eyes on Who's Number One, but I want to kick it to you first, Mike. What the people want to know, what Hollywood Mike thought of the event. What's your evaluation of the event?
Man, I thought it wasn't bad for our first time doing a 2-day tournament like that. There's normally the super fight cards. We got another one coming October 20th. We got still more stuff to announce of that, but I like the tournament aspect. It throws a kink in things. You get some upsets, some new stars get made, new rivalries start. Like coming out of this, there's just endless amount of matchups we can make. We got the 5 champions. We're going to crown 3 more on October 20th. I'd be really interested to see who challenges these people first. I mean, Tim Spriggs a big star now. Tim Spriggs tapped, kind of Duarte, cut the best promo ever afterwards. The Ruotolo brothers, all you fucking dumbasses who every time we post about the Ruotolos brothers doing them, I still think they're 16 and 145 pounds. Now they're grown-ass men now. They're the best in the world. They are, without a doubt, the best in the world at their weights now. So it's like the Ruotolo brothers, they're the top dogs out there. It's like we got twin brother Gary Tonins, who are just nonstop excitement. Mika and Ty obviously didn't live up to expectations, but it happens sometimes. Maisa's still running things at 115. Grace was pretty close there. Grace would probably win it until the last couple of minutes. Rafaela Guedes, I believe, brings home with her sub bonus the biggest person in the history of female jiu-jitsu. I mean, we got Gordon Ryan coming back at the end of the month. We got 3 more title fights. I just can't wait. I'll kick it off to you guys. Whatever. Reed, what do you think of the event?
Killer one. Before we get too deep, I do also need to give a shout out to the sponsor, of course, Bubs Natural. These guys came through at Who's Number One Championship and gave out a whole bunch of money.
$25,000 in submission bonuses.
There you go. Shout out to Bubs Natural. They're supporting the podcast this week. They supported the show last weekend. These guys are incredible. If you guys aren't buying Bubs Natural product, get to it right now. We got the promo code, I believe it's Bubs Subs. Bubs Subs. BUBSSUBS. Bubs Subs. You get 20% off all their products. So make sure you guys are supporting Bubs. These dudes are absolutely legit. Got plenty of stuff. Apple cider vinegar. Gummies and the collagen protein, all kinds of stuff on the website. So make sure you guys are supporting these dudes. Badass stuff. Big fans of jiu-jitsu. So shout out Bubs Natural. But yeah, man, incredible event. Had so much fun. What do you think, Corey, man? What really stands out to you as a big deal from the tournament?
The biggest takeaway for me really is 46% submission rate, right? So many submissions, and especially in the constellation bracket. I'm so happy we did that. I'm so happy we gave the athletes another chance to show just how good they are, because everybody who came out from the constellation round came out cracking. And really, I think of the 15 matches, something like 11 submissions, right? So especially in the constellation rounds, but throughout the event, submissions left, right, and center.
Dang, absolutely. Such a fun event. Connor, what's going on back there, dude? What do you think about the event, and what's going on in the chat? What's everybody saying? I want to know what the people have to say about the event, too.
Yeah, man, I think I'm probably just along the same lines as all the fans right now. The upsets and the storylines that came out of this one are just phenomenal. They're kind of like, if you told me by the second round, if you would have showed me the bracket and told me this is how it's going to go, I would have laughed at you. I would not have called it Jacob Couch taking out Roberto. I would not have called Gabriel Sousa taking out Mikey. There's just too many upsets, too many like new names that now everyone has to contend with. You can't ignore these guys anymore. So I'm super excited about it. We don't have our guys in the chat yet. I know Steve and Becerra had a long weekend hanging out with us. Sometimes backstage,
I don't know how.
JJ just walked back, and he was so confident, and everyone refused to remove him. But yeah, it was great seeing all the guys, and I'm sure they'll be trickling in. Luis Quinones is in the chat now, so shout out Luis. Yeah, it was a great weekend.
Let us know what you
What
thought
do you guys
about.
think?
Go ahead, Mike.
He's talking about the upsets. What was your guys' favorite upset of the event?
Ooh.
Man, I think favorite upset, favorite storyline.
Or biggest one, not necessarily favorite, biggest one. What do you think was the
Biggest
craziest
one
upset?
for me, it's got to be, we got to talk about the choke dealer. Blast Double Poppy, the best match machine, Tim Spriggs taking out the number one, guy, Kynan Duarte. We all sat up here and I feel like all of us thought, we all predicted on the prediction shows and everything, Craig Jones included, we all picked Kynan Duarte. None of us picked Tim Spriggs. And for him to go out there, submit Heisem Reed in the first round, and then nobody was picking him. I'm sure a lot of people were, but the majority of people thought Kynan was going to win, and for him to go out there and submit him like that and then cut the promo he did, hell yeah. So happy for Tim Spriggs. He killed it, and a star is born, like you said, man. I can't wait to see this guy's next match.
He was plus 4,000, right, Corey? In that info you sent over, he was the biggest dog to win a bracket. He was plus 4,000 on the betting lines, I think.
Yeah, there were definitely some doubters, but for those believers, I hope they got their money down because he was plus 4,000 to win the bracket, and he did it.
Wow,
man, I should have got.
What about you, Mike? What sticks out to you as upset of the tournament?
Obviously, a lot of people say Couch versus Roberto, but I just think stylistically it was kind of a good matchup for Couch because what he's good at is Roberto's, Achilles heel, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll say Gabriel Souza over Mikey, just not only because he beat Mikey, but the manner in which he beat him. Like, how often does Mikey get his guard passed at his he was bumping up a little bit, but around his weight, not once but twice, and then submitted him. With how good Mikey's been looking at who's number one, a road to ADCC coming into this, I think he was a lot of people's favorite to win that division. And to get his guard passed twice by Gabriel and submitted in the first round. I'm going to go with Gabriel Souza as the craziest upset of the tournament.
Yeah, once like that first round where you had Gabby go out, you had Roberto, you had Mikey, it was just like, man, this isn't going to be one of those regular jiu-jitsu tournaments. I feel like once it happened to Mikey, I was like, man, this is not just your average jiu-jitsu tournament. What you guys got to say? Anything?
Yeah, you got to give a shout out to Amanda Levy, right? She beat Gabby Garcia. Yeah. I think she beat Gabby Garcia twice. She came out swinging in the press conference, really called her out, and I think brought some attention to herself, and then followed through. And really followed through in the match against Gabby. I was talking to her coach Jay afterwards. He told me they've been preparing for that match for 2 years. So happy to see it was able to pay off because it really put Amanda's name on the map. And I can't believe that she wasn't able to finish those chokes when she was on Gabby's back twice with 2 deep chokes sunk in.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. The crowd might have been the loudest. I feel like during that match. It was pure mayhem in there. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I got to go Gabby too. It happened early enough. It happened like right off the bat. We were still giving out free matches on YouTube. And it was the moment where I was like, oh, this isn't just like a who's number one tournament and it's going to be good and we're going to have, everyone we think is going to win. It was like history's being made. Everyone in the crowd knew they were here for that moment. Everyone stands up, ovation. It was the best coming out party for who's number one championship you can imagine. I don't think you could have had probably a better upset in the first round that early on. Like, I don't think there was one to happen aside from Gabby getting taken out.
If you had to give out like an outstanding wrestler, like in wrestling they do an OW, right, at the end of a tournament, like a NCAA championships they do the Hodge, right? Who out of those 5 champs would you give the outstanding wrestler for this event? Who do you think had the best performance in their bracket?
Man, that's a tough one. Great question. I think I probably would have given it to Cade, but of course he had that match where he got off the match. He got off the mat a lot quicker than he probably envisioned. There was a little injury there, Josh Cisneros.
This Cisneros injury, yeah.
Yep, I feel like I probably would have given it to Cade, but since that match, like I'm doubling down on Blast Double Poppy, man. I think I'm so high on this dude. I loved that he went out there and won, and in the way he did it, in impressive fashion, over Kynan Duarte. Give it to the best match machine.
Tim Spriggs gave himself 5. He's got more nicknames than anybody in the sport. Gave himself 5 nicknames in that promo video. I'd go with Cade. I'll tell you why. He just submitted a Pato in the first round, right?
Yep.
So he submitted second place and third place in his bracket. So he submitted the people who proved themselves to be second and third. I mean, the Cisneros thing was a freak injury, but I mean, I'm still gonna go with Cade as the OW. What are you thinking, Corey?
Yeah, I've got to go Cade as well. Even with that injury to Cisneros, it was some of the most exciting 46 seconds of grappling that we saw the whole event. They were going after each other, and just imagining what that match could have been like. I hope we see it again. I'm sure we'll see it again soon. But I know what that match could have looked like. Cade looked outstanding in that first minute, and just dominated the rest of the field, really. And I think he was the only I know he was the only competitor in the finals to walk out under the 10-minute mark. So beating Gabriel Souza like that, and after the weekend that Gabriel Souza had, Cade looked impressive.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
We were all sort of in agreement, either Cade or the Mushmaster, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I was going to say that.
Give them co-MVPs.
Yeah.
You also got to give a shout out to Jacob Couch, and I feel like eventually we should address him getting pushed into
that feeds into my next question. Who do you think had the biggest coming out party here? Who do you think elevated their status at this tournament the most? Because there's a few people there, right, who came in here and they left much bigger stars than they left. Like, you got Couch, you got Kolabate proved he's legit, you got Amanda Levy. I think there's probably some other people I'm forgetting. Who do you guys think really made their name Craig Jones ADCC style at this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Erin Harp didn't even place, but I still think she's one that really
shined.
I
love Erin Harp, man.
Yeah, she looked great, has such a great style. Kendall as well, I think, showed out. Didn't get the W, but looked great. Yeah, like you said, Gabriel Souza. It's hard to pick. A lot of these guys, I think, had such great weekends. But yeah, I'll say Jacob Couch, though, just because I think that, he is on the verge of becoming one of the biggest stars in grappling, in my opinion. And, it's only a matter of time. I think that this weekend we saw a glimpse of how special that he can really be. And, this is just the beginning for him, for sure.
Yeah, really, the stars aligned for Couch, right? He got a last-minute call-up, probably the best first-round draw he could have gotten. Ended up in the consolation bracket, lost to Thor, but was able to move forward. And really, we got to see a lot of Jacob Couch, and the world got to see a lot of Jacob Couch. Others receiving votes, right? Got to give a shout out to Tubby Alekman, who had a tough first round draw, but came back in the consolation with two savage submissions, a leg lock against Alex Wynn, and then a quick heel hook, actually a record-setting heel hook against Jessica Khan. Toe hold.
Can we just agree that the women's divisions are more exciting than the men's divisions at this point? Both of those women's brackets were fun as fuck. Like, Erin Harp is savage. Tubby, Danielle Kelly, all these girls go after somebody at the best. I mean, we'll get to the best sub in a minute, but I think the best sub happened in the women's divisions. These girls get after it, and almost all of them showed up to compete the next day in the constellations. They always bring it. But, yeah, I mean, Hillbilly Hammer took this thing on like 4 days' notice. He had the number one guy in the betting odds, first round, goes out and taps him. He beat two top five opponents, if you think about it, at this event, because he beat number 2 ranked Roberto, number 4 ranked William Tackett at his weight class, coming in unranked Couch. So, I mean, Couch is going to be top 5 for sure now. Yeah. I don't know where he wins $8,500. He showed us afterwards he had a negative $1.63 in his bank account when he got that $8,500 check. I mean, I like Kolabate, though, too, because he was a big question mark coming into it. I mean, I thought he was legit. That's why I put him in there. I thought he could beat anybody in the world, but a lot of people think, oh, he's young, this and that. I mean, he goes out and he beats Gio Martinez pretty handily, loses split decision to Gabriel Souza that could have gone either way, that could have gone Cole's way. I think Cole Abate is ready to beat anybody in the world. He was kind of bumping up. He's probably natural 145-pounder right now. I think Cole could beat anybody in the world right now. I'll go with a tie between Cole and Jacob Couch.
Last thing on Couch there. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who doesn't think that Roberto wasn't capable of going in there and winning that entire tournament, doesn't know Roberto. Roberto is very capable of winning that entire tournament, and the fact that Couch took him out first round just goes to show you how good Couch is. What about you, Connor? What do you got anything to say? What's going on in the chat? Anything? What are they saying?
Yeah, they're in favor of, though they were tuning in and saying, yes, the women's divisions possibly were more exciting. The girls were out there ready to fight. Let's point out, none of them dropped out before the tournament.
Yeah,
and
for
they
real.
were always down, and I think they only dealt with 1 or 2 dropouts going into the consolations. So that was huge to see. I got to give a shout out to Jacob Couch again. He's a Kentucky kid, so I'm always going to be on his side. But nothing taken away from Cole. Amanda Levy probably had the breakout moment. I guess I can't give it to Amanda straight out because of she got beat in the next 2 matches. But still, man, just phenomenal work
beat
from
Gabby.
all of them.
That's big time. You beat Gabby.
Yeah. And for real, Cole Geo is underrated. That's like one of the best matches of the whole tournament. Cole Geo is a great match.
Oh yeah, I gotta go rewatch. I'm gonna give all these matches star ratings and do a power rankings of these matches. I gotta rewatch them all.
Sick.
It's a lot of work to hit 50
for
matches.
Levy goes out. She talked that shit. She backed it up, right?
Heck yeah.
She fucking went after Gabby in a press conference, and then she backed it up. Like, not only did she get on her back, lost the position, Gabby gets on top of her in half guard. I'm like, oh, well, this is it. This is where it's all downhill from here for these girls, right? And nope, she took her back again. So Levy's a star. Couch, his technique just really impressed me against these elite guys because he was getting in on these leg entries kind of easy, but then he was handcuffing these guys. He was clamping down on them. There was no escape once he got in there. He was flowing through the positions and staying tight. I mean, a lot of guys throw up leg locks. A lot of guys are bad at keeping the knee line. Couch was keeping these guys stuck in there for a while, and that's what won him these matches. I was really impressed by Couch's technique.
And if we're talking about Amanda Levy's press conference, let's remember Mushmaster on the post-fight interview, the best post-fight promo cut you can imagine.
Best promo. We don't even have to debate. Spriggs got that locked up all day, so that was all Spriggs. What do you want to talk about? Best submission? You want to kick it off? Who wants to kick it off? Best submission.
Everybody knows what the best sub of the tournament was.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
Got to give it to Grace.
Grace
Gundrum hitting a twister on Jessa in the semifinals was not only the best sub of the tournament, in my opinion, it's one of the most epic things I've ever seen in jiu-jitsu.
Hell yeah.
It was like up there with Lachlan's heel hooks at ADCC, which is like people just going wild. Eddie Bravo going wild in the corner. Everybody, her corner, the crowd was electric. I just couldn't believe it was happening that she was going to finish late in the night on Saturday in the semifinals with a twister against such a great opponent. That was just nuts.
Heck yeah. What's the 10th Planet guy got to say about this one?
I mean, you're taking my answer with grace. Anyone hitting a twister on Jessica Khan's amazing. Man, honestly, I'll give it to the sequence of submissions that Cade hit. Just the constant threat of the darce. I think just that technique as a whole, I'm going to give it to him.
What was the nicest darce of the tournament between the Rotolo? I got to rewatch it, but I remember ties against Johnny Tama first round being pretty fucking nasty too, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like the Pato one's pretty wild too.
The Pato one was nice. Both the first round ones, I think.
Yeah.
The Gabriel Souza darce too, because I think that the position that Cade had, everybody knew it was coming, right? He had Gabriel Souza turtled up. You're just looking, how's he going to get a darce from here? And he does it anyway. I mean, these kids can darce from anywhere. It doesn't matter if you know they're coming. They expect you to know it's coming. But I think my favorite submission of the tournament has to be Ty Rotolo's reverse arm triangle against Dante. 10 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Did not have to finish that submission. Didn't have to go for the submission, but this kid is such a submission hunter. You can't expect anything less from him.
That's why we love him, right? These guys. Yeah, that was a dirty one, man. Wow, crazy one.
I love the Cade darce choke when he looked up gave one of those right before he tapped. That's gangster as hell. Yeah,
it's like, dude, once they lock it, you just know it's over. It's just locked up. It's like the finisher. It's like Kenny Omega's one-winged angel in AEW. Nobody kicks out of it. So, I mean, we got to talk more about Ruotolos. But I do want to also give a shout-out to William Tackett's calf slicer there on Dante in the wrestlebacks. That was a real slick one. I know William.
Man, there was so much good shit.
Yeah. And I know William.
Watch all of this.
William uses that technique a lot. That's kind of one of his signature techniques, I feel like, that submission, that calf slicer. So he was able to hit it on the big stage, so that's pretty sick. But slick setup and slick submission. But Corey, a lot of good submissions.
Corey, speaking of the records, Corey, why don't you tell us those WNO records that you were sending us earlier?
Yeah,
what
let's
are
go
the
top to
WNO
bottom.
records that are standing right now?
Bunch of brand new records hit. We got to start with what I think are the two most impressive. Ty and Cade Rotolo are now tied for the most wins in Who's Number One history.
Legends.
Both of them have 6. That surpasses Gordon and Craig, who both currently have 4. Cade Rotolo stands alone as the most consecutive wins. He's 6-0, so 6 wins in a row.
Damn.
On the women's side, Grace Gundrum and Erin Harp have 4 victories each. That's the most women's wins in Who's Number One history. The twister, a first ever. The calf crush by William Tackett, a first ever. Tubby Aliquin, 43-second submission is the fastest women's history. That surpasses Danielle Kelly, who had a 3-minute submission. And Big O's power bomb was the first ever DQ, and who's number 1.
Wow, a lot of records there.
Hey, so Tyler just gave us a good recommendation. We were talking about outstanding wrestler. Let's make the award from now on. If it's outstanding grappler, it's the OG. Let's make the OG award. At these
That's
events from
sick.
now on.
That's fire.
That's sick. Yeah.
So who are we giving the OG to? Did everybody agree on it? I voted Cade. Who wins the OG of the tournament?
I vote Cade. Yeah, got it.
I vote Tim.
Yeah, I voted Kate. I'm going to stick with that, but Tim's got an honorable mention for sure.
All right.
Do you guys want to give it a tie? Tim and Cade are co-OGs.
I mean, if it's called
They're the only
OG, how can you not give it to Tim Spriggs? How can you not give that award to Tim
The
Spriggs?
Blast Double Poppy.
Yeah.
Fucking nicknames: the Blast Double Poppy, the Mush
Choke
Master,
Dealer.
the Best Match Machine,
The choke
Choke
deal.
I think we might even be forgetting something. He's got a lot of nicknames. That guy. I never knew.
Dude. I love it.
Man, the
Supposed to walk
heavyweight
into this
champ now.
podcast
How
with the
incredible is
crop
that? Tim
top.
Spriggs comes in here plus 4,000 odds. He's the heavyweight champ now. Anybody
Yeah,
wants to
dude.
be the best heavyweight in the world, they got to come fight Tim Spriggs. Like I saw Victor Hugo online saying that he wants it next. It's like, no, you got to earn that, Victor. I don't care if you beat him before somewhere else. You got to come and win some matches on who's number 1, Victor, if you want to do that match. The only people I could see stepping right into it right now would be somebody like Gordon or Craig, who are 4-0 with a bunch of subs on the event. Like, yeah, people got to come to Tim Spriggs now. He's the man.
This
He's
is
got
this
the
is
strat.
this is
I
a
love it.
different game now. This is who's number 1,
Yeah.
and Tim Spriggs is the king of who's number 1, man. You want to come into his territory, you know, you got to earn it, like you said, man. Heck yeah.
Tim Spriggs is going to
You gotta earn that shot. We
single-handedly.
don't care what you did before. We don't care if you beat him on another event. You got to come to who's number 1, work your way up just like everybody else. I mean, Tim went there. He won the tournament. You know, anybody else could. They could. A lot of these guys could have been in that tournament if they wanted to. But yeah, Tim showed up. 2 heel hooks. Who would have thought? Like, what a performance! The guy's great on the mic. It's a blessing to have somebody who's got something going on in their head and can give a good interview. You know, I love Tim Spriggs as the heavyweight champ right now. Who do you guys think would make sense as a first defense for him?
I don't want to give him the Gordon match off the bat just because, like, I want to see. I'm not confident about that, and I want to see his reign. I want to see him against some people.
He started calling out Gordon. He started calling out Gordon in the post.
He was very not naming names about it though. I'm just glad we can all wear crop tops confidently now. That's all I'm excited for.
I am happy to see somebody, you know, be able to match Gordon in the trash talk realm, in the on the mic
Bro,
realm.
Tim will go at him.
You know, I love it. I like to see Tim versus Gordon. You know, I don't know how soon, but that's the match for me.
Yeah, I think the Gordon
Yeah, that
match
match would be
definitely
nuclear.
makes sense. We haven't seen them face off in a couple of years, and it really is like the number 1 pound for pound versus the heavyweight champ. What else do you want?
Yeah. Tim
This
can call the
would be
shots
like-
though. He's the champ.
Everybody else always plays this bullshit with Gordon when he starts talking shit of they're gonna be the good guy. They're like Gordon's the devil on the shoulder. They're the angel. And they're gonna, like, you know, the whole Wagner thing from the video. He's gonna try and bring Gordon into the light. Tim versus Gordon is gonna be 2 heels going against each other. It's gonna be 2 bad guys going at it. Like, making any promo materials on that match will be fun. Tim's never had more hype. I mean, he just submitted kind of Duarte. I mean, he who knows? I mean, they fought in 2019 at ACC. That's a long time ago. Things are different now. Maybe Tim's a lot different now. Maybe getting that belt's gonna motivate him to train more than 3 times a week, like you said. So I mean, yeah, that's an incredible match, man. So
He's the champ. What gives you more confidence than being the champ?
Yeah.
Nothing. He's the champ.
Give me Tim Spriggs
Heavyweight
versus
belt.
Nicky Rod.
Ooh.
Yeah, give
What
me
is it?
Nicky Rod in there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicky Rod would make sense. Nicky Rod's at least got a W on the event over unlike some people, but he's out with that injury, I think, for a couple more months, but a few more months. But Corey brought up that the Ruotolo brothers have the most wins in who's number 1 history, right? We don't count the first event, the Gi one, and any of this stuff, but they both have 6 wins. Ty's 6-1, Cade's 6-0. So I made these who's number 1 pound for pound rankings Monday morning. If you guys want to talk about this, I think they're pretty interesting. This is only going off of matches and who's number 1. This is who's number 1 rules. So if other events started using the who's number 1 rules, I'd include that as long as it was legit, you know. But yeah, if you look at this pound for pound for the male, it's pretty damn impressive. Like, look at that list; those are all superstars in there.
Heck yeah, we got
Cade
Cade
Rotolo
and
won
Ty at the
6-0
top.
with an 83% submission rate. So what? He's got 5 subs out of 6 matches. That's just nuts. His brother 6-1, Spriggs 3-0, Gordon 4-0, Craig 4-0. Then you get to Kynan, Mika, Gabriel, Mikey, Cole. Heisem's a star in this event now. Heisem's 4-1 in the event. Cole's 3-1. Like, man, it's really starting to come together. We're just gonna do more and more events, and it's gonna get pretty competitive.
Yeah, the fact, man, that the Rotolo brothers went out there and did what they said they were going to do the whole time, win the belts as brothers, 185 and 155. They're, Ty's not a 185er, that's the thing. So the fact that they went out there and won the belts, man, that was one of the most impressive things I'd seen in a long time. Yeah, so they do deserve to be on the top for sure. Crazy to see Gordon Ryan all the way down at number 4, but you got Mikael Galvao, Gabriel Souza, Cole Abate making an appearance. How about Haisam Rita? We didn't mention Haisam Rita, but he had a great tournament as well. This is 10 killers and some of the most electric and exciting
11.
grapplers in the sport. 11 of the names, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's talk real quick about how much how well Atos looked, how successful Atos was in this tournament too. They walked away with $111,000 between the 4 of them.
I was telling Cade, I caught him backstage and was like, "Hey man, I got student loans. So if you're trying to pop some of that this way, you know what I mean?" Well, let's also point out someone in the chat, my guy Sunshine and Rain said, Ty could compete at 170 easy, and I don't think there's anyone stopping him at that weight either. I mean, Ty has what it takes to become the first double champ of who's number 1.
Mike, are we gonna see Ty versus Cade for 170? Is that gonna happen? You gonna make that happen?
I want to. I think they kind of want to too. I mean, we're talking about what they're going to do with the money. I think they're just going to go down to Costa Rica and, I don't know, build some sort of compound down there, buy some dirt bikes or some shit. But Ty versus Cade for the 170-pound belt one day that'd be pretty damn fire. I mean, that's about the best match you could possibly make.
Hell yeah. I want to see that one. That one's going to be sick.
So, yeah, we got to start getting more champs. So we're going to have
That's right. We got to talk
champs.
Go ahead, Mike.
We got three title fights coming up this month. Besides the Gordon versus Rowe, people are talking trash about that. Whatever. It's an exhibition match. Shut up. The main event, Bia Mesquita versus Luisa Montero, 135-pound bantamweight title match. 125 pounds flyweight, Fionn Davis versus Natalie Ribeiro. Connor, we're not good to announce the male title fight going down yet, right?
Correct. Not good yet. I'm sorry, I'm the bearer of bad news.
All right. Well, we got an exciting male title fight coming there. Levi Jones-Leary, another match announced for this versus Oliver Taza. Levi making his return to no-gi after a few years off. We got a few more matches being announced this week. October 20th, Wednesday, October 20th is going to be our first one on a Wednesday, 8 p.m. Really looking forward to this thing. I mean, Gordon coming back is always fun. What are you guys thinking? Reed, what are you thinking about this event coming up?
Heck yeah, man. October 20th, like you said, Wednesday, our first Wednesday event. That's going to be exciting. You're bringing in the Lady Goat, of course, Bia Mesquita, making her Who's Number 1 debut. Bia's won it all, ADCC, IBJJF, Combat Jiu-Jitsu. She's doing it all. Now is her chance to try to win a belt on the Who's Number 1 stage, add one more title to her illustrious career. Fionn Davis, of course, the electric Welsh black belt. We've been trying to get her on this show for a long time. She's finally going to be making her debut and going up against, of course, the super tough Natalie Ribeiro from Checkmat. She's 1-0 on Who's Number 1, so that's a great matchup. And hell yeah, man, I love this Levi Jones versus Oliver Taza match. Like, we haven't seen Levi in a while. He's known as a gi guy. He's refocused, training with Lachlan Giles down there, and what better way to induct him into the Who's Number 1 universe than against a veteran, against a savage like Oliver Taza. This card's already shaping up to be one of the best of the year. So hell yeah, let's go. I can't wait for it.
You know what's making me excited about this this Wednesday, October 20th tournament is Who's Number 1 has largely been a national sensation, right? It's largely been Americans or guys who are currently living in America, ladies who are currently living in America. We are going international. We're getting Levi Jones from Australia. We're getting Bia from Brazil. So starting to grow a little bit, starting to go a little more worldwide and get some of the best. Fionn from the UK, right? Exactly. We're really starting to expand the borders here, and can't wait to see what comes of it.
Shout out Philly Fresh and the bump box right here. We got the bump box going. Philly Fresh and Gordon. Come on, man. How can you guys hate on this match? This is Gordon going up against a UFC lightweight. This is a UFC lightweight. I'm UFC welterweight. Philly Fresh, one of the best entertainers. This guy's electric. He has a chance to unseat the king. We just saw who's #1 championship. You didn't think Mikey was going to lose. You didn't think Roberto was going to lose. You didn't think that Gabby Garcia was lose. You don't know what's going to happen. Stop acting like you know what's going to happen. Philly Fresh versus Gordon is a dope-ass match. Anytime we get to see Gordon out there doing his damn thing, that's legit. So I'm going to tune in. What are you thinking about this, Connor?
Man, I'm just hyped. I like this new Reed coming out here with some spice out here. And man, Michael Sears has his hat on sideways. This is a brand new group of people out here. No, I'm actually really excited. We got some undercard matchups coming too.
Connor gets excited easily.
Yeah,
my head on sideways, he gets fired up.
Let's go.
Silly hats.
We have the undercard matchups. Go, boys. Those are going to be super fun because they're bringing in some guys, I think that really, guys and girls that really deserve to be on the Who's #1 scene but have not been able to make their debut yet. We're getting some old faces, some guys from former undercards that showed off in spectacular fashion that are coming back. I think, the more we can feed in new athletes with these events is going to be more storylines, more fun for the fans.
Plenty more to come, too.
Yeah, we got some more shit coming. We got the WNX reality show. Reed, when's the deadline for these people with the reality show? Shout out to Will Pounder, by the way. This guy, Will Pounder. Shout out to that dude. He's the only video I've watched is from a guy named Will Pounder. Reed, what's going on with this thing? How's the application process going? When are you going to cut these off?
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys throwing in your hats, your names in the hat there for it. Who's next? We're on our way. Email casting. If you can't upload your video to the website, you can just email it to the casting call at Flow Sports or whatever the website. I'm sorry, whatever the email address is on the FloGrappling.com/reality show website. We will get your video that way as well if you're having trouble. But yeah, guys, I think we're going to be cutting it off at the end of this week. So make sure you get your video submission in by the end of this week. We're going to be cutting it off and making our decisions in the next couple weeks. So a lot more to come on this, and I can't wait for it. You're going to be hearing a lot more about it. But for now, make sure you get in your video submissions ASAP. What else are we talking about?
Connor, did you apply?
No, not yet. Trey's going to help me cut my promo. I'm going to start some really wild rumors about taking out some professional athletes that they can't deny without giving me some attention. So, it's going to be a win-win. I'm going to start some rumors about how I tap, like Luis Quinones, Andrew Wiltsey. I'm just going to lie blatantly, and no one's going to be able to tell the difference.
Sick. So, yeah, we're all about that. We're all about that, definitely.
We're all about lying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just fabricating your video submission. No. No. Mm-hmm. Don't do like Connor. But, yeah, man. October 20th, we got a lot more to come. We're giving out plenty of title belts like this one right here. This is the bantamweight belt. One is either Louisa or Bia is going to be wearing this one around their waist. We got so much big plans coming here for 2022. You guys have no idea. We're changing the game, and I hope you guys are along for the ride. Anything else we want to talk about? Any other directions we want to go here? Mike, you got anything? Corey's got something.
I want to give a real quick shout out. I feel like we kind of glazed over this, but they deserve some credit. Rafaela Guedes is our new women's heavyweight champion, and Maisa Bastos, our strawweight champion.
Absolutely. Rafaela, she had some ups and downs on the Who's #1 stage, but to go out there and especially submit Kendall in the final, super dirty. I'm curious who we're going to see Rafaela face again. You could do the Erin Harp rematch, of course. Erin Harp has a win over her on Who's #1, or do you go straight, maybe give somebody like a Gabby or something like that, a big name,
Nachieli
or Nachieli, of course.
I'm sure we got to wait a little bit for that match, but that's got to be the match to make. And that division is so competitive, right? You can't tell who's going to win what match. They've all beaten each other. It's not exactly 1 for 1. So really, that match is kind of a coin toss. No matter that division is a coin toss, no matter what match you build there.
Yep, absolutely. What do you think, Mike? What's next for Rafaela?
That's a good question. Like you said, Nachieli's kind of on the shelf. Gabby, we don't know what's going on with her. A lot of those girls went back and forth with each other. I'm thinking some of these weights, especially the two women's weights, heavyweight, in 115 that we crown the champ. I think we just, because there's not a lot of matches that really make sense. I think we just get the top few contenders together, run a round robin. Whoever wins earns their way back in the title contention.
That'd be sick. That's a sick idea. Make it fair. Fight for the chance to fight for the belt. And then, Maisa, man, she looked very, very dominant out there. Grace tried to pass her guard for 25 minutes almost. And Maisa had basically an answer for everything Grace threw at her. And obviously we all know how good Grace is to go out there and twist her Jessa. So, yeah, incredibly impressive performance from Maisa Bastos there. She's the queen of 115. We've been building this division up all year. So it's nice to see somebody kind of sit atop the 115-pound throne. Connor, anything you want to say about Maisa?
No, man, she went out there, and I think the questions that people had about Maisa versus Grace from the first match, she answered them. She did it like it seemed close up until the end where Maisa gets mount, and then it was just very clear where Maisa is standing compared to the rest of the girls. And shout out to the rest of the girls. They competed phenomenally. They always put on exciting shows, probably some of the most exciting matches you're ever going to catch out of Who's Number One, especially from that tournament. But, man, Maisa just seems to be standing above them all right now.
Yeah, I got to say, Grace Gundrum really impressed me, too. We typically think of her as a guard player, and most of the women in that division, we think of them as guard players, but really unusual to see somebody in that division come out and pass and try and pass and try and pass and not really have any intention of pulling guard. But we saw that from Grace. It really, really stood out to me as something that I hope we see more from that division. I know it can be a little overwhelming or underwhelming, depending how you look at it, to watch just this 50-50 battle the whole match. But Grace wants to play on top. She's going to play a takedown battle if she wants to, and it really has a potential to change the game in that division.
Grace versus Maisa was an awesome match. I mean, that was 30 minutes long. I didn't get bored at all. Grace's pressure passing is great, the double unders. There's also been sort of a leg lock evolution in that 115-pound division. Everybody always thought, the women's division, they don't go for as many heel hooks as the guys, but you can really see these girls are stepping it up and they're starting to do more heel hooks and stuff. And I think that 115-pound division, we're going to see a big evolution there.
So I think we can say overall, Who's Number One championship lived up to the hype. Was a success. What do you guys think?
Can't wait to see more of it, man.
Yeah, I think it sounds like you guys are wrapping up, but we need to wrap up on some hot takes or something exciting. So I think we need Corey to just say some wild shit right here. So Corey, go ahead. Say something controversial that's going to piss off the community. Go ahead.
I don't know.
We had a conversation about this earlier. Ty Rotolo definitely won that match in my eyes. I know not everybody agrees with me. I think maybe most people don't agree with me.
No, people don't think Ty won that match?
Yeah.
There's some dissent in the community, and I get it. I understand the perspective of both angles of this. But Ty won the match for me.
I gotta say differently. We were arguing this out there on the tables. I know Michael Sears
hates
these takes from me.
Connor, tell me right now, what moves did Mika hit in that match?
I mean, he was trying for leg entries when he was on bottom.
He was trying for leg entry. Didn't get any tight. Took him down. Ty's one on top, sort of pushing the pace. I mean, it wasn't the best match. It was sort of stalemate. Neither one guy dominated the other one, but I mean, I don't know how you give it to anybody but Ty. All right, Ty, Connor, let me hear your take.
So my question is, at what point is it the responsibility of the top man to engage fully in a pass? Now, I know when Mika was giving up like the north-south style position, it was a little bit of a trap because then he was using that to go into leg entries. But if you're not going to pass from north-south and you're not going to engage passing straight on, I don't know if there is a moment in the guard passing where you're going to ever say it's their responsibility. It feels like a little bit of a cop-out if you're saying that that's a trap, which is what I had heard before. Now, I just want to be fair because we have a lot of favorites
Mika
on the flow side. Yeah, Mika laying a trap. We have a lot of favorites on the flow side that are obviously leg lockers, and we get really frustrated whenever people play anti-leg lock games, so we call it anti-jiu-jitsu. And
what do you mean favorites? What do you mean favorites on the flow side?
Like Craig. Like, obviously, we like Craig. We like to see him compete.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
We don't have any favorites on the flow side.
Okay.
Make that clear. We don't have favorites that we're rooting for. But maybe Connor does. But
I just think there's fans'
favorite. It was a bizarre match. I mean, I think they were just sort of feeling each other out. I think they'll both be more ready next time. But I think
Yeah, I think it just goes to
magic.
show you like how much was on the line in that match. You know, there was. I think maybe a lot of people don't know exactly how much history, and this is not to your point exactly, Connor here, but so much history between the two of them. You know, I feel like going back a long time. And, you know, they both kind of been these young phenoms growing up in the spotlight of jiu-jitsu, you know, and here they are, you know, on the biggest stage for the biggest prize with the most on the line. There was a lot of pressure, I think, on both of their shoulders. And so it came down to, like you said, a little bit of a cagey match. It wasn't the most exciting match. I think next time, I think both those guys will be a little bit more willing to engage with each other, hopefully. And really, so we can see what these guys are made of. We know both of them have such incredible electric jiu-jitsu. We were just waiting on the edge of our seats for it to pop off, you know. So hopefully maybe next time it will. I think, you know, I think it could have gone either way. I had no problem with it being a tie victory. You know, I thought Ty was just a little bit more aggressive, and I think that aggression for me is kind of what comes down to it.
I think the difference maker to me is when they were on the feet. When they were on the ground, it was sort of a stalemate. Neither guy was really getting anything going. On the feet, Ty was killing him. On the feet, it wasn't even close. Ty was doing all the action. Ty was moving him around, wearing him out. And it was really one-sided when they were standing up. That's why I would give it a tie.
One thing I want to point out is in defense of Mika, but in defense of that match and probably why it was so cagey, is that when we watch Ty compete normally, he's borderline disrespectful to his opponents, right? He does whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. He gave so much respect to Mika, knowing how dangerous Mika is, and that attests to just how dangerous, how good, how skilled Mika is. Yeah. Because Ty, I mean, whether it's Dante Leon or no matter who it is, Ty doesn't care. Ty moves around and plays this really kind of, I say disrespectful, but just like aggressive, I don't care what you think you can do to me game, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't have a chance of doing that to Mika. He knew it. He backed off. He kind of played this game where not going to get 100% of the way anywhere. Just going to kind of get 50, 60, 70% of the way there and then make sure nothing bad is going to happen. So real credit to Mika and just how skilled that kid is.
Yeah, for sure. And Ty,
you guys want to talk about Gabriel Cole?
Or you
really say on some fire shit. You want to talk about Gabriel Cole?
What do you think?
I mean, watching it live in the room, I was leaning towards Cole. I thought it's tricky because they both got solid heel hook attempts, but I mean, I have to rewatch it. I haven't rewatched the match, but watching it live, It felt like to me that Cole got closer to tapping him with that early one, and that Cole was really pushing the pace for a lot of the match. And Cole won the first two judges' favorites, but remember, those aren't rounds. Those aren't like points or anything. Mm-hmm. And then I think towards the end, kind of let his foot off the gas, and Gabriel hit a few things and just made it a little bit closer. I think if Cole would have came up on top near the end and just stayed on top, that there would have been no question like Cole Bate takes it. But there was one point, like I said, I only watched this live. I got to rewatch it. I do remember one point where Cole was sort of in the middle of the mat eating a heel hook, and I was like, man, this isn't good. This could make it go the other way for him. But I mean, regardless, I mean, the kid, 16 years old, he beat Gio Martinez, went to a split decision with Gabriel that a lot of people feel he won. And I mean, he has an argument that he would have won. But I mean, if it would have went the other way, it's one of those things. Gabriel's team will be coming to us with their argument for why they should have won. You know, that's how it goes. And, you know, the decision, we don't make it. We're not involved in the judge's decision and the reffing. And that's basically my stance when people try to talk to me about it. Like, listen, it's none of my business. Like, I don't really have a stance on it. My initial response was I would have given it to Cole, but I mean, Gabriel and his side would have an argument as well. I'm sure. I gotta go rewatch it. What do you guys think?
I mean, flaws in everything, but it just goes to show you, like, this is the last position we want to be in. It is a controversial match. Please submit your opponent. Like, that's the only solution. Please, we're begging you. You know, throw the kitchen sink. Submit your opponent. I know it's not possible all the time, but I'm just pleading. Please submit your opponent. What do you got to say, Corey?
Yeah, I want to make one point.
Put it away with like a mount or a back take or something.
Yeah, Amanda. There was no question of Amanda Levy, Gabby. You know.
That's all I care about. The only thing I care about with these matches is that somebody wins in a dominant fashion, so I don't got to have the other team's, you know, coach, whatever, coming up and talking to me. I mean, I don't even say anything. I'm just not going to sit there and discuss the decision with them, but I just sit there and listen and get settled after a while.
Me sitting there on that side, I thought Cole won that match, but We have to remember, right? The judges' favor system is not points. It's designed not to be points. It should not be points. And what ends up happening is there's a recency bias, right? When you're sitting there watching a 15-minute match, the last thing you see is probably going to have a little more influence over you than the first thing you see. And Cole had 2 very nice heel hooks at the beginning of the match. I thought Gabriel's heel hook was probably the most legitimate of the match by a hair at the very end, but because it happened at the very end, that tends to have a little more influence over the judges, whether you like it or not, the last thing that happens, right? Look at Maisa and Grace, for example. Maisa took the back, or nearly took the back at the beginning of the match, got the first judge's favor, but then Grace, without successfully finishing a move, pressured Maisa for the rest of the match. She got the second judge's favor. What happens last sticks with you. You know, I thought Cole won the match, but that recency bias is going to be a real thing. It's just what happens. It happens in MMA all the time.
I was going to say, you know, judging's not perfect. Look at UFC. They've been trying to perfect this thing for the last 30 years. It's not going to be perfect overnight. We're trying our best. What do you got? You want to stir the pot even more, Connor? You want to keep stirring the pot? What do you got?
I was about to bring up, like, is that a fair thing? I think if you get a sub attempt in the first 2 or 3 minutes of a match and then someone flips it and at the end they get a sub attempt back, but it's in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a match, I will personally give it in favor of the second guy. Just because he's it seems like, for example, if you're Ruotolo or something, your strategy is to wear someone out before you start executing on submissions, and that strategy, like, that's a successful implementation of that strategy of getting a sub later on. So I don't know, like, maybe that recency bias isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's fair.
Yeah, I have two thoughts on that here. One is that, you know, the scoring system we have, this judging system we have, right, is naturally designed to be subjective, right?
Because let's not get too deep in the weeds on the
but
scoring system
subjective
stuff. Yeah,
but it's subjective, and it's designed to be that way because the moment that it's not, it gets gamified, right? I think we can all agree on that. So we're trying to make sure that it can't be gamified. The best way to win is to win by submission. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the recency thing makes sense. It makes sense that they would favor stuff at the end of the match, and you see that in, I think, the judges' decisions for literally every other grappling event. All right, you guys good? You guys got anything else to say before we get out of here?
That was a wild one, man. I can't believe it was a blur. But that was a fun one, man. Meeting everybody at the airport and doing the whole off the mat thing. That whole week was a lot of fun. So much fun to have all these 40, 50 athletes in one time. We're gonna do this again, Mike? Sometime?
Maybe in a couple of years. I mean, maybe some smaller tournaments with one weight. This is a big lift. Maybe every couple of years something with this many athletes. Maybe some smaller tournaments with one weight. I don't get some round robins going. Some more super fight cards. We got the reality show coming. Tons of Who's Number One stuff coming. It's going to be a wild 2022.
Heck yeah, guys. Make sure y'all are out there supporting Bubs Natural. Use the promo code BUBSSUBS. Get 20% off. Don't forget, October 20th, Wednesday, we're giving out 3 more belts and another electric Who's Number One card. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.